In example 4, there's yet again another way that they can test this concept about sum of the roots and product of the roots, and it is like this. You're being asked to find the value of m, and m is clearly in a quadratic, x squared plus 2mx minus 6 equals 0, if one of the roots is 2. Really, the only hint that you will be using sum of the roots, product of the roots, is the word, the root is 2 here. I guess, and also the fact that it is a quadratic. Now, basic things like if you're finding m, and m is, part of the quadratic, then ultimately we want an equation with m in it, and we will solve this equation for m. Well, before we can get the equation with m in it, we're going to use these concepts about the roots. But ultimately, that's how we formulate some sort of solution. Find the value of m means we want an equation with m in it. The fact that m occurs in a quadratic and an additional piece of information involves roots tells me I should be thinking along the lines of sum of the roots, product of the roots. Okay, so let's see what we can establish. Well, from the quadratic, what have we got? We've got a would be 1, b would be this 2m, so I'm really wanting an equation with this b in it. C would be minus 6, and I'm going to say alpha is 2. Let beta be the other root. Quadratic, 2 roots. Therefore, the sum of the roots, I'll just write, therefore use sum of roots to form an equation. Now, remember, it was all about forming an equation with m in it. Does this one? The sum of the roots is 2 plus beta. That's the sum of the roots. Sum of the roots is minus b on a. I'll just write alpha plus beta is minus b on a, in case you've forgotten. So my alpha was 2, beta minus b is minus 2m, and a is 1. Use now the product of the roots, which is 2 beta is c on a, which is minus 6. Now, what have I produced? I've produced some equations. I've produced this equation, and my unknowns are beta and m. Quite good, because remember, I'm trying to find m. But if I've got 2 unknowns, I need 2 equations. And here is my second equation, and it's just got beta in it. Actually, that's perfect. 1 equation, 1 unknown, I can solve that. So therefore, beta must be minus 3. Now, I've got my equation. This is my most important equation because it's got what I'm trying to find in it. It's got the m in it. But once I've got my beta, I can sub that into equation 1. sub beta is minus 3 in 1, that is 2 minus 3 is minus 2m, 2 minus 3 is minus 1 is minus 2m, divide both sides by minus 2, m is a half. Done. So, what was that example about? That example was, I guess, just again, you know, a test of, do you understand your algebraic techniques? Do you understand the value of creating equations? Do you understand why you create an equation? And when you create an equation, what does that mean you're able to do? So we've just tied together a whole lot of algebra in a situation involving a quadratic and involving its roots. I'll stop the video there and do the next example in another video.